And hello, everyone. Welcome to Live Trading. It is February the 25th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, or 10:02 Eastern Time. We're 2 minutes late because I did a one last minute edit to our slides, but nonetheless, ready to go for our live trading workshop. My name is Daniel, and I will be your moderator and live trader. Today, in this session, we anticipate the session to last about 1 hour 30 to 2 hours today. We'll see how the market treats us this morning. And of course, as I always say, these live trading sessions are always, the highlights for me at least, because this is really where the rubber hits the road. And after all, we're all traders. We're not, just don't want to talk about trading. We actually want to do the actual trading. All right. So with this being said, let me ask you guys, where are you calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. I myself, I'm calling in from Montreal, from cold Montreal. It's a snowy day today here in Montreal, around -8 degrees. Yeah, I thought last week when it was a bit warmer, perhaps winter's over, but nope, it's back or fully back into the winter temperatures right now. All right. So who do we have in the room today? Let's see. All right. We have Linda from Orangeville, Ontario. Hey, Linda, how's it going? We have John from Venice, Florida. Hey, John, good to have you. And Jens from Frankfurt. Hey, Jens, how are you? How's it going? And we also have Ulrike, also from Germany. Hey, Ulrike, how are you doing? Perfect. All right, guys. Mark also is there from Birmingham, Alabama. He said it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit over there. So what is 60 in centigrade? I think maybe around 15, something like this. I'd imagine. So 15 degrees centigrade, 60 Fahrenheit. Yeah, not too bad actually. Yeah, this is a nice spring weather over there. Perfect. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, a quick reminder, of course, actually two things. First off, this session is being recorded and the recording will be published on our YouTube page shortly afterwards. And of course, I do need to remind you that what we're going to be doing today is live day trading. And, when it comes to day trading, especially, keep in mind that this does contain substantial risk and is not therefore suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance or really anything based on historical data, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies and trades discussed and taken in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right. So with this out of the way, a quick introduction of who we are, just in case you don't know us yet. We are tradingindicators.com. As I mentioned at the beginning, my name is Daniel Sinek. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side. Normally I'm on camera too, but we are making changes to our AV equipment. And hopefully for the next webinar, we're going to be, ready to go with a full camera setup, a brand new, yeah, you'll see what's going to happen. We have big plans for this, but today, no camera for the time being. And we are trading indicators. It's not just me, it's also Homa here in the middle, my partner in crime, and Niklas, who's also in the room today. He will be helping me with the charts today and, pointing out some interesting ideas, pointing out questions should you have them and so forth. By the way, if you do have questions, really don't be shy. Put your questions into the Q&A box. And as I mentioned, Niklas will look out for these questions and bring them to my attention as he sees fit. And this can be questions about our indicators, about perhaps symbols to look at, about setups to be discussed, and anything really related to trading. Also, a couple of ground rules because today is a bit of a special webinar. It's a live trading webinar. The objective today is to take trades, and as such, actually not just to take trades, but ideally also to close out trades. As such, this lends itself naturally to day trading. So day trading is a form of trading where you will open and close your trade within a very short period of time. However, having this said, the principles and techniques and indicators that we'll be using today, these are universally applicable. So if you are a swing trader or perhaps a long-term investor, and if you also trade anything else but futures, because today we're going to be focusing on futures trading, these will be universally applicable to whatever you want to trade. Secondly, as it is the greatest common denominator, we will be using TradingView today as our platform of choice, not because TradingView is the greatest platform out there. We like other platforms too. It is simply the platform that most people have seen before or perhaps are also using. Having this said, our indicators and the styles we're going to be showing you, these work just as well on other platforms like NinjaTrader or Motivwave. And lastly, it is a live trading session. As such, we may be forced to take some trades or close trades prematurely because we do want to take some trades in this session. That's the objective. That's the most exciting part. This is what we're all here for. Even if the setup is not perfect, we may be taking some trades. But if we do, we will call this out because one of the biggest difference makers, at least to me in my trading, which I notice, is to the more selective you become, the better you will be. You will be in your trading. And just a matter of fact, we don't have the luxury necessarily today because we want to take some trades. We can't wait forever for the perfect setup, but we will call it out if the setup is not completely perfect. What else you possibly would have liked to see should this happen? And lastly, will every trade going to be a winner? I think this question answers itself. No, there's no such guarantee. If somebody tells you, hey, I have a 100% success rate, this person is lying to you. There's no guarantee. The markets are to some degree unpredictable. We are trying to make sense of them, but there's always a degree of uncertainty in the market. As such, we cannot guarantee every trade to be a winner. Of course, we're going to do everything in our power so that this will be happening. We're going to be using our live market or live money account, our actually funded account, and we don't like losing money just like anybody else. And we're trying to make money, obviously, but there's no guarantees. But as mentioned, we will do everything in our power to increase our odds. And talking about this, back in the day when I started off trading, and I've shown this picture before, back in the day, I thought, stacking your odds, increasing your odds to have successful trades would look something like this, like a crazy setup with a billion screens or many, many different screens, lots of different indicators on there. And then you just, look at the markets and try to make sense of it somehow. That was my initial idea. Hey, trading should be like this. And if you haven't watched this YouTube video yet, I'm going to post it a bit later into the chat. Check it out. This is about a trader called Steve. I actually know this guy. And it's about the indicators you can see here on his chart. I have programmed for him. And he's a day trader who uses a setup like this. But this is really, really specialized. And I believe, and nowadays, it is an overkill. It is not needed anymore. And in fact, and also this is not very mobile and portable, and it's very expensive and complex and overwhelming and, intimidating almost. So now I don't trade like this. I completely changed my mind for this. I only trade like this now. Just one chart and one screen or one laptop, if you may say so. You can see it like this. That's my setup for the most part. I'm going to show you in just a bit what I am using as my chart and what is on this particular chart. Because I really believe that, indicators are there for a reason, and you don't really need more than just one chart and the proper indicators on there. And this brings me to my first point. We let indicators do the heavy lifting. And this is true, and we're going to definitely be doing this today. We're going to have all our key indicators on the chart. But then I realized one more thing. Today, we don't have the luxury to do it. Probably not. Maybe we do, but we'll see. Actually, there's one extra level you can go. Instead of just doing the indicators do the heavy lifting, you could actually let alerts and scan do the actual lifting. Because when you have indicators on your chart, you still need to monitor your chart. You still need to look at it. You still need to see what's going on. What I do now, because we're also running a business at the same time, we have busy lives and so forth, like most people, we let alerts and scans do the heavy lifting, especially the first one here, the alerts. This has become my primary trigger of when I actually open up the chart. And how I set up these alerts, I'm going to show you in a second. But this has become a huge difference maker, because this will prevent me, by its very definition, to trade setups which are not perfect. Because these alerts, I'll show you what these are. These are set up so that I will only be alerted when everything lines up. And this has made a big, big difference. All right. Now, Without further ado, let's go to the charts. I'm going to get back to some theory later on as soon as we had, had a chance to look at the markets. But let's have a look at the charts first. All right, so I'm going to switch over to TradingView. Let me just find it down here. There we go. And I will first show you what are the indicators on the chart, which we typically have on every chart. There are other ones too, which we use, but typically these are the indicators which are, just one second, which are always on our chart. So it's going to be starting with the MNQ, the NASDAQ futures right here. This is the, let me just one second, that's the wrong chart. I'm going to go here to my 50-minute charts first on MNQ. There we go. Perfect. All right. So as soon as this loads, let's take a look of what is going on here. All right. So MNQ, the NASDAQ futures are currently, this is a 50-minute chart, in a bullish trend. We can see this by this indicator here. This is our MA Rush indicator. In fact, let me quickly take away all the other ones at first. There we go. All right, so this is our trend indicator. We always like to trade with the trend rather than against it. This turns out, you're going to see this a bit later, turns out to be a very strict criteria because sometimes a setup looks really, really nice, but the trend direction is not matching up. So oftentimes that's a very strict filter. And today I'm going to tell you right away, we may ignore this filter. But overall, the way I like to trade is with the trend rather than against the trend. That's point number one. Indicator number two is this one here. It's called Liquidity IQ. And what this indicator does, it prints onto your chart key resistance, these bluish lines here, and key support levels, these reddish lines on the chart. And you can see how beautiful these can hold up. You can see it here. Look here, price coming down to support. Where does it stop? Almost to the cent at this support level here. Bouncing off, one more time, bouncing off. So this is the power of knowing where these levels are. Same here when prices came up to resistance. But of course, there's no guarantees. At some point, these levels may be broken. This is exactly what we've seen here. You can see this little arrow here. This is a zone break indication. This resistance level here now was broken. All right, this could have been an interesting opportunity to enter into a long trade, but this has passed now. Now prices are way higher. And the way I look at the market here right now is I potentially want to wait until prices come down to back towards this former resistance level here. Why is that? Because then this would be our zone break retrace setup. Why is this interesting? Because once resistance is broken, then it will act as support. So prices coming down to this level here, they will find support. And the idea is then to potentially enter along, anticipating that prices will bounce off this level towards higher price levels. So we're going to keep an eye on this. So we missed the trigger here a little bit earlier because this happened earlier, but let's wait to see if prices are coming down a bit further. All right, so this is indicator number two, this is Liquidity IQ, which shows us these key levels. Indicator number two is Volume IQ. It's a volume profile indicator. It's loading right now on the chart. And as soon as it's loaded, you will see it, come on, directly on your chart. And what this indicator shows you, which price regions in our look back period are the most heavily traded ones and which ones are not so much heavily traded. And you can see here the price region here around 25,035 around this level here is very heavily traded. And then down here, which is the zone of control, the most heavily traded price region is around 24,862. So quite a bit away, but still interesting to know. And sometimes, and these are actually these setups that I really look for, sometimes these high volume nodes, they align with key levels. So this, you can see this level here is aligning with this level down here. Prices are far away from it, but these are oftentimes the best setups when these high volume nodes aligning with key levels, because then we have two potential levels or zones which can act as support if price approaches those levels from the top side. All right, we're going to get there step by step. And then we have one more indicator on our chart, which is our 1IQ indicator. It's this one here. And this is the indicator which I use now exclusively for my alerts. I'm going to show you in a second how I set up my alerts. All right, so this one is loading and it will tell you right now, no, there's no alert right now. If you're coming down closer, we might get one, but right now it says no qualified setups, meaning there's no setup that I would like to see in my configuration. Now, how do I set up my alerts? Well, let's have a look. So what I like to see, and I'm actually gonna, what I like to see, my dream setup. I'm gonna show you my alerts, how I set them up in a second. My dream setup is the following. Price, let's say for the bullish case, okay? Price is coming down from the top to a key level, like this one here. This is why I pointed this one out. It's coming down to this key level, and right below this level, as a second line of defense, we call this defense here, we have the high volume node, the zone of control of volume IQ. That would be my dream setup along with a bullish trend. Then three things are coming together. We're coming down to a key level, which may act as support. Right below, we have the zone of control and the trend is bullish. This is what I'm scanning for all the time. This is, if you go to my alerts here, is exactly how I set up my alerts. If you go to the alerts definition here, you can see these are all set up that way that, if this setup comes to life, I want to be alerted. And I've set this up on the 1 minute time frame here, on the 5 minute time frame, and the 50-minute time frames. But these setups, these are rare. You have to don't be fooled by this. If I go to my alert history here, look, yesterday they happened quite a bit, but today we only had one alert on ZM, a short trade here. If you go to ZM, real quick, this is soybeans futures. 1 second. Yeah, a short trade, which happened right here at 9:32. See this one here? This was a short alert. Look at this follow through. I missed it because I was driving at the time, but it was alerted right up here. It was been a beautiful setup for a short. Yeah, we missed this one. We'll see when we come back up here again. Maybe we can look for another short trade again. Okay, so this is what I am looking for as my dream setup, and this has made a really big difference to me when it comes to trading. All right, so let me go back to the 50-minute time frame here because I want to look at some other symbols as well. So QQQ, the idea is we're coming down to this level and we're looking for longs. I put a price alert here. You can see this one here. When price comes to this level here, maybe I will scale into a long position at this point. Let's look at MES, the S&P 500 futures. All right. We're bullish in trend. And here, also interesting, he actually, we actually have some kind of a zone break retrace set up here. I'm still going to wait a little bit just to see how markets react. But this also by itself could be an interesting long setup. We have to break here. We came down right away. So this is not a clean one. So what I like to see is a zone break. And then it takes a little while till we come down. These are the cleanest setups that I like to see. But nonetheless, this could be an interesting one. I'm going to wait a little bit to see if this area holds here. If it does, potentially a nice long trade. We are bullish in trend. We're hitting support here as we broke it previously. Maybe we're going to lift off from this level towards higher price levels. All right, let's look at Dow. All right, MYM, Micro Dow Futures. Bullish trend. Again, this is the 50-minute time frame. Yeah, here we actually came down a little bit further below this level. You can see it also here. So yeah, this is no surprise to me here. Why is that? Look what happened here. And of course, hindsight is always 2020. But what did we see here? We're still just analyzing the market of what has happened. We broke above this resistance level, but this breakout was short-lived. Why? Look what's right here on top. The zone of control as per our volume IQ indicator. And, as we always teach it, if we approach this zone of control from the downside, which is the case here from the downside, it will act as resistance and prices may bounce off this level. That's exactly what happened here. We bounced off this level, and this actually may take some time to get through this level here. If we go above it, maybe we have blue skies ahead, but there's a lot of overhead resistance here. So something we want to be careful here at Micro Dow. And finally, let's look at M2K, the Micro Russell contract here. Bullish trend also here. Let's see if you have some clarity here. Yeah, but it also looks a bit convoluted right at the zone of control, which per price may have some trouble getting through. All right, so these were the indices. Let's go over to gold and silver. What's going on there? All right, so gold is bullish, clearly, very bullish here on the 50-minute time frame, but we're stalling out a little bit. You can see here we made highs here on Monday, then we've been having some sideways consolidation. But what's interesting here is that what we could do, if you believe that, hey, gold is in a bullish trend and we have the zone of control here of our volume IQ indicator, one idea, and Nicholas and and I discussed this beforehand, is to bet on the fact that, hey, if we come down one more time into the zone, let's look for a very short-lived long trade with a very tight stop loss, maybe around here, just to, anticipate on the fact, hey, this may take some time to resolve. We may spend some time in the zone of control. It's a very thick zone of control. And in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a price alert also here. If you're coming down to this level, I want to be alerted. And maybe I'm going to take a long trade, anticipating, okay, we're going to spend some time zigzagging in the zone of control, and we can take advantage of this. We can just take a bit off the market. This would be a very small scalp trade in that sense. All right, so interesting one here for micro gold. Silver is a very expensive contract, by the way. So even micro silver is extremely expensive. So here you really need to have the perfect setup. Yeah. An interesting one just came to life here. Zone break, you can see it here. And then the rate trace on this candle here down to the broken level, which could have been an interesting long trade. We do have our zone of control below it, but that's far away. Just to show you how expensive this trade would be, because we would have to put our stop right below here. I'm going to show you right now. I'm not going to take this trade, but just to show you, even if one contract, say we enter here at this level with one contract, say our stop loss is maybe, our profit is somewhere here, our stop loss will be somewhere here, $5,000. That's a bit too much for my account. We have $40,000 in the account, but that would be above our risk tolerance. This shows you how expensive this silver contract is. So it's a bit hard to trade with smaller accounts. All right. So that was that one. And then we have one more symbol I would like to look at, actually two more, which is MCL, micro crude. Micro crude is hitting support. You're going to see it here in a second. We're bearish and we are hitting support right here. Yeah, I looked at this beforehand and I was intrigued by the setup just because this seems to be a strong support level. We came down here, we bounced, we came down here, we bounced, we came down here, and now we're bouncing again. But of course, we are going against the trend. We are bearish. So I'm thinking, instead of trying to take a long trade here, I'm going to patiently wait until we see if we do either a break below this level. I'll put my alert here for the break below this level. Then we can play the zone break, shorting it here. Or what I'm thinking might be more likely now, if we are coming up towards the zone of control here, this could be another opportunity to re-short MCL, anticipating, we're going to come up to the zone of control. It will hold as resistance. We have another resistance level on top here, and we're going to short it at this point. So I'm going to set another price alert right here. So these are some of the ideas which I am seeing right now for these ones. And we have one more I'd like to see is MBT, Micro Bitcoin. Now, today 4% up. We're at 67,000 now. But let me quickly see what's going on here. We're bearish in trend. And actually interesting, look at this. Our trend is bearish here on the 50-minute time frame. It may change to bullish if we drop higher. But what do we see here? And actually, I think I might be intrigued by this. We're coming up to this, once again, the zone of control. If we are approaching the zone of control from the downside, it will act as resistance. Okay. And right above here, we have another resistance level as per our liquidity IQ indicator. Actually, I kind of like this one for a potential short. Nicholas, what do you think? For a potential short trade here.
Yeah, I like it. Definitely.
Yeah.
We can use that, that resistance too.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scale in. So
and if you zoom out too, Daniel, if you just grab it, let's say hop over to the 30-minute and scroll out a bit after you place your trade.
Yeah, just 1 second. All right, I'm just gonna we're gonna look at the target a bit later on. Should we get a fill? Oops.
Oh, that's your that's your entry order.
Oh yeah, I made a mistake here. So I'm gonna try to short it right here, my profit target. Just here. Something that also made a difference in my trading is to be humble with your profit targets. Yeah, because markets are kind of wild and zigzagging. So booking your profits early can make a difference. So I'm gonna just place this trade right here as a short trade here. And I will add to my position should we go higher towards this resistance level here. So this would be my second line of defense. Should we get towards this level here, I will potentially add to this position with 2 more contracts, just to dollar cost average into this trade. So let's see how this one will pan out. And you said, Nicholas, zoom out.
Yeah, if you hop over, let's say the 1 hour, actually, not really important, but I just wanted to point out that we've got a clear what looks to me like descending trend channel
Oh
here.
yeah,
So we're heading
you
up to the upper range. So
said that
more.
earlier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So if you were to draw some kind of trend channel down here, you can see, okay, we're actually coming up to the upper end of this trend channel. Of course, we also have it here, some like a descending trend channel to some degree, coinciding with this zone of control and coinciding with this resistance level as per Liquidity
And,
IQ. Good
and
point.
this is nice too. I mean, you hopped over to the 1 hour and look at the setup. I mean, the liquidity levels are still the same reference time frame, but it's nice to see that that zone of control is actually still there on the 1
Yeah,
hour.
agreed. Yeah. Okay, great. I'm glad we got our first trade in. Let's see how it pans out. We've been quite successful in our prior tr live trading sessions. Of course, I want to keep the momentum going. Let's see how this one pans out. I will, however, well, I guess we keep an eye on this trade no matter what. But I will scale in a second time if we are getting closer towards this resistance level here, or towards this trend line which we drew here. Perfect. All right.
What do you think of MCL, Daniel? I looked at it, maybe a little not perfect for you, but to me it looked like something where you put a tight stop on like the local high, like the high on the previous candle, and expect a zone break to the downside.
Oh yeah, for a short trade, but I really want to see this level being lost first. Yeah, of course, short would be my preference here too. This is why I'm thinking either I'm gonna wait here or I will wait until we actually lose this level. I think right now shorting it here as we are getting to this support level a bit
Too preemptive. Yeah.
too preemptive. Yeah, exactly. That's a good term. So yeah. Okay. Oh, we got one. MGC. See, this is the again, once again, as you know, when I said in the beginning, I let alerts do the heavy lifting. Well, I just got alerted of something of interest. MCL is crossing. Let's jump over to, it's not MCL. MGC is crossing into our zone of control. Remember what we said here? We might be continuing to zigzag a bit longer in this zone of control here. Well, this might be happening here. So we are bullish. So I definitely want to be long here. uh Gold is bullish. I'm thinking maybe scaling into or getting long at this price level here, Nicholas, anticipating we're gonna be finding support here and then, just take a quick profit as we are jumping, as we probably bouncing here. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. And like there's the risk. Yeah,
The risk will,
I'd place my stop above the low of the morning there. Um,
the, oh,
like
about like here?
yeah, something like that because I think if it loses that, then I mean that's an abyss below, and it's definitely gonna continue. Or looks like it would just drop and lose control quite
Yeah,
quickly. I wouldn't make my stop below that big block because by the time it reaches the bottom of that big block, like there, it's already way over. You know,
all right, that's a
that'd
good.
be my intuition.
Yeah, but this would be a trade which I would really, really tightly manage, even with my target. I would be very, very conservative. It's an expensive, somewhat expensive contract. And here, all we want to do is anticipate. Okay, we are bullish, so we're definitely going to enter long, but we're expecting more zigzag. So as we're coming down here, there might be another zigzag move. Just go down a little bit. Yeah, it is. Might be another zigzag move coming off the zone of control. If it happens, we're just going to take a quick profit off this move. All right. So John with a question here.
I can answer this one, Daniel, if you'd like.
Okay, why are some of the lines here thinner than thicker? Maybe Niklas just
Yep.
answer it for everyone. That would be
So
best. Yeah.
yeah, so the way liquidity IQ works is it's going to show support and resistance lines from 4 higher time frames. Okay, the smallest, or what would be the term? The lowest higher time frame. So let's say you're on the 5 minute, that might be the 15 minute, has a thin line. Then the next higher time frame, let's say the 30 minute, has a slightly thicker line. Then the 1 hour, an even thicker line, and then the 4 hour, it has the thickest line. So the idea with the thickness of the lines is the higher time frame and therefore like the longer lasting and more important pivot or liquidity level it is, it's going to have a thicker line. The reason why you see them kind of fade from thin to thick is that as time passes, that level got confirmed as a much higher time frame resistance or support. So those lines are just getting overlaid on top of each other. So it's not so much about the latest ones showing up as wider ranges. That's just an illusion. You're just seeing that the level's becoming confirmed as a higher time frame level, basically. And when it first shows up, it's thin because it's only confirmed on a shorter time frame. As time goes on, the level hasn't been lost or replaced by a new level. It gets thicker as it's confirmed as a higher time frame one. And that's from
Where's
one
the
IQ, gents.
where's the market headline box from? Yeah, that's our one IQ indicator. I'll give a round trip of our indicators in just a bit later on. And one IQ, Jens, that's the indicator we use or I use all the time for my alerts now in TradingView, because you can configure it for these perfect setups where we're approaching support, the trend is bullish, and the zone of control is right below us. So like the trifecta setups, which we call them. So let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. We are pushing a bit higher off this zone of control. All right, we're not there yet, but I wonder, where did my trend line go to? I guess since we got filled, it's technically a different symbol here on TradingView, and therefore it didn't keep my drawings. But nonetheless, I'm thinking, should we get to this level here, right below my zone of control? I will scale in one more time into this trade with my target down here, but with two contracts, dollar cost averaging, anticipating, okay, this is our second line of defense. We're getting a better entry, and we will, hopefully can rescue this trade as it happens. All right, there we go. All right. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Let's have a look at gold here. So the idea of gold here is that we will be zigzagging a bit further. So far, so good. We got a small profit here. And yeah, let's see how this one pans out. All right. And Jens says, thank you. All right, perfect, Jens. And Jens, if you have any questions, don't be shy. The more questions we get, the better it will be for everyone. All right, perfect. So two trades open. Let's see. Let's see what's going on with our indices here, Nasdaq. Nasdaq, the idea was we may see a zone break, a retracement back to the broken resistance level. The prices are stalling out here. We're not there yet. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this moving up. Towards the session. So far prices are really slowing down right now at this point. All right, let me just quickly look at what's going on with oil. In oil, our idea was that if we lose, we're getting close now. If we lose this support level, we might short oil, anticipating, we're gonna see a nice follow through afterwards. And while this is happening, let me just quickly look at gold here. Just so I know this is going to be zigzagging, guys. This is why I think, just to book a quick win here, I'm just going to probably move my stop here. I know this will be zigzagging, and just books. I like to start my day with a quick, quick win if you find one, and then hopefully we're going to get there. We have something in the books. If we come down here again, I might do it again. But to me, at least psychologically, especially in front of an audience, this is something I like to do. Just have something in the books for now. If we come down one more time to this level here, I may do the same thing. We call this rinse and repeat. And we'll take another step out this one. But it's good to ring the register early. It's good for the soul and for your mind.
Looking at the higher time frames too, gold has a lot of sellers up around this range.
Yeah.
So that's the idea that if we do lose that tier 2, the trade's going to be totally annihilated.
Yeah, and it's good to, you have a little bit, especially since Bitcoin is a bit in the minus so far. And, one thing I've learned is to just book profits early. Just, we have less pressure on it. It will add up over time. Definitely. So let's have a look at Bitcoin here. What's going on here? We do have our second trade placed up here. Prices are still in this vicinity. Let's see what happens. This might be our second entry here. And you can see that I doubled my position size. I had one contract in. This would be for two contracts, doing some true dollar averaging. The idea is, okay, this level up here better holds. Nicholas also showed that we do have some trend lines that we're approaching here, some descending trend lines. So hopefully this will be the end point of this Bitcoin trade, of this Bitcoin move up. But I don't really like, and I see it here now, it has become bullish as per MA Rush. It's okay. We're still going to keep our thesis. This trend now has changed over here. It was bearish, I believe, and we placed it.
Yep.
Even though, Nicholas, I don't think it was, because this was 945. This seems to be a somewhat different symbol as we had. Let me just check something real quick. Because because the symbol here and also our trend line is no longer there. Let me just see something, because this might be the March contract. And what we saw when I first did my analysis was probably the continuous contract, which probably had slightly different price data. Let me just try to simulate this. And we see in this symbol now, because this
Yeah,
trade
Daniel,
was
because
executed here.
I'm looking
Yeah,
at the continuous contract,
yeah.
and what's happening right now is actually quite different. It's bullet, or I think I'm on the continuous, but on the 15-minute, we actually just crossed over the tier 2 on my chart. Look where the tier 2 is on your chart. It's way below price.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah. That's a
that's
good
something
point.
strange.
Let me let me just show everyone what we mean by this. I'm going to open up the layout one more time here, the M15 layout with the indicators on it. And now we're going to open up the contract, the continuous contract, as we would normally open up if there's no trade open. And I'm just quickly, I hope it's
It
not
actually
being
looks a
locked.
lot less good on that on the other chart.
On the continuous contract?
On the whatever contract I am on here, just micro Bitcoin futures CME. Yeah. Well, it looks a little bit more risky for the short, but who knows? It's still in play.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, the problem is I'm still locked in here into, I'm just gonna quickly log out here just to show you what I mean. So I'm gonna log back in a second, and I'm gonna go to MCL. Where is it? Oh, MCL, MBT, of course. Okay. So this is now the continuous contract. You can see it here with the exclamation mark at the end. Maybe it's important to point out what this contract actually is. What is this thing? Well, this means, because in futures contracts, they have expiration dates. March. I'm not sure what it is for Bitcoin. Maybe they expire every month. Let me just quickly see. MBT. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, they expire every month. You can see the different expiration dates here. February 2026, March 2026, April 2026. So if we are actually opening up a contract like this, like the March one, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and maybe take off the indicators just to explain to you what is the phenomena right now here with this contract. Let me go to like a daily chart. You'll see in a second what that means. Look, do you see this one here, this price data? It was barely traded back like in 2024. Why? Because that was the March 2026 contract. Who would trade this with this kind of expiration date? So in order to avoid this, having these kind of bad historical data, trading and brokers came up with the concept of a continuous contract, where they would splice together all these different individual contracts with specific expiration date into like one thing. But this one thing is not tradable, however. So the continuous contract, if you go back to MBT here, has the exclamation mark at the end in Bitcoin. So if I go here, MBT, you see this exclamation mark here, that means it's this continuous contract. And if you now go back, it has perfect price data, historically speaking. And you can see also here, when it was spliced together, see, this was a merge of when a continuous contract was spliced together. This thing down here, contract switch. So they were spliced together here. And this explains these slightly different price data that we saw when we actually looked at the contract with a concrete expiration date versus the continuous contract. So I hope that explains it. All right. Anyways, let me go back now to the actual trade that we have here, just to make sure. So now I have to log back in, and you can see this is actually our interactive brokers account, which we use for this. Works very nicely. The integration with TradingView. I need to do my two-factor authentication. Just 1 second here. I do it on my phone, authorize, and once this is done, I'm going to be redirected. You can see this works really seamlessly. Redirected to the chart, and now we can look at the trade here, and we can see we're currently $51 in the minus here, but we have our second order placed up here, and I'm going to stay with this before thesis. I kind of still like it. It still looks kind of bearish to me. This could just be a retracement in this bearish trend before another downwards move occurs. All right, we do have a question from John. When are you referring to, or what are you referring to when you say tier 1 or tier 2? That's a great question. Okay, so for this, I'm going to go over to this chart here, and I will only apply our volume IQ indicator to the chart, so it's very clear. Okay, so I'm hiding all the other indicators, and all we see here now is our volume IQ indicator. You can see it here. So, in fact, maybe one day, Niklas, we can change the terminology for these ones. But when we developed our volume IQ indicator, we basically had two observations, which is this indicator here on the right-hand side. Observation number one is, okay, there are price areas which have really large high volume nodes. These are the most contested price areas. And oftentimes what happens in those nodes is price, first of all, slows down when it enters a node. It will take quite a bit of time to get out of it. This is exactly what's the idea for our gold trade. There will be lots of zigzagging. And secondly, these nodes may act as support or resistance depending on whether we approach them from the downside, then it would be resistance, or from the upside, then it would be support. We call these high volume nodes tier 2 nodes. I don't know why we call them like this, John, but that's the terminology we've chosen. And if I enable,
You can kind of think of them as slow and fast,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, like
or
2 would be
yeah.
slow. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. But how do I put on the numbers again? Here. Oh, here. No, bias labels. Nicholas, where was it again?
I think it's at the top,
Okay.
right there. Tier labels, rectangles.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now I put them to numbers, and you actually can see the numbers now in Volume IQ. And once the numbers are on, you can see some of them once it loads. Here, it just takes a second to load. You'll see this big node here will be labeled 2, and the other ones, which are the lower volume nodes, these little valleys here, these are number 1. So this is exactly what this refers to. And just one more thing about the number 1 nodes here. So these are areas with very little participation, with low volume in this price region. And oftentimes price accelerates through these levels once it gets there. So the price will slow down when it gets to a tier 2, but accelerate once it gets into a tier 1. So I hope that explains it. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, great. Thanks, John. John said adding these numbers clarified things. Perfect. All right. So let me quickly check at Bitcoin again. Oh, it's coming higher. Did we get our fill for the second trade? Not yet. Okay. All right. Let me revisit gold just to see if my original idea that we might be bouncing off again. Not yet. Now we're still a little bit higher. But nonetheless, you can see it just takes a while. And if we're coming down once again to our entry level here, yeah, this level here, I might take another long position here. Why not? Rinse and repeat, as we call it. All right. Okay, so what else could we look at? What about oil? What's going on with MCL? Okay, so here the idea was wait for the zone break. It didn't happen yet. You see here, and this is why I was hesitant, Nicholas, to short here, because it is still support. Even though we're bearish, we're still near support here. And it may take a little while to get through. But once we get through, we're waiting like this, like a hawk, this would be an interesting short opportunity. Then it's just a follow through you're going to play with a moderate downside target, not too far, because there might be a retracement back to it, but at least there's probably some we can take off the market as we do. All right, perfect. Okay, let me quickly see what's going on here in terms of alerts. Nothing is coming in yet. You see how selective these alerts are that are coming in. Sometimes you have more, but oftentimes they're super selective. But to me, this has made all the difference just to wait for the perfect setup. It's not, the quantity of the trades you take, is the quality of the trades you take, and this has made a big difference. But yeah, today, of course, you do want to take a few more trades. All right, so let me go back to some other symbols. Which symbol didn't we look at? What about copper? Let's look at some metals.
It's quite boring to me, copper.
Copper is boring? Yeah, okay, well,
I think.
just check it out. Copper, yeah. So here, yeah, you can see here we had the zone break. At this point, we broke above resistance, and yeah, up here, there's nothing to be done. If anything, I would wait till prices come down to this level here, then potentially enter long for the zone break retrace trade. But yeah, up here, I agree with you, Nicholas. There's nothing to be done.
M2K is kind of interesting.
The Russell, okay. We're coming
Not
down
for
here.
an obvious trade, but what I'm seeing on the 15-minute is MA Rush is bullish. We've had a huge pull down beneath a tier 2, which is beneath a resistance, but we stopped dropping right above this buyer block that I see, and I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe if it reclaims that tier 2, you can have a low risk short long entry.
Yeah, But let's explain the setup a bit more, what Niklas has in mind here. So Niklas said we just stopped at a buyer block. Where would this buyer block be? So what Niklas was referring to is this thing here on the right-hand side of volume IQ. So let me explain a little bit what these areas are. So volume IQ is a very versatile and powerful indicator. It not only shows you the volume profile, that's one thing it does, of course, that's the main, but maybe the main thing, but it also shows you biases, indicating, hey, which price regions have a bias towards the upside. These are colored bluish, or in this color here, or this one, and which price regions have a bias towards the downside, like these reddish areas here. Okay, and what Niklas was saying, okay, we just got to this buy block here, and we bounced off from it, and he's thinking, maybe this could be an interesting trade, anticipating we're gonna, see some upwards action here. Yeah, but my problem with this one is that we are approaching this zone of control and the resistance level here, so maybe a bit too aggressive for my taste. I probably would.
True,
Yeah,
and
wait on
the
this
other
one.
indices are struggling to hold their morning gains. So if they start
Yeah.
to come down, it's probably going to yank this downwards as well.
Oh, that's interesting. They do come down. Zone break retrace, maybe. Let me just go to MNQ as we see here. This one is still fairly far up. Yeah, I mean they came up a little bit, but here the idea is a bigger retracement down to this level. That's still quite far away, 150 points away in MNQ. So not really tradable right now. This particular symbol up there, it's too strong, too extended to go long. And I'm all and going short here, anticipating this pullback. That's going against the trend. That's also nothing for me, and it's okay. Sometimes if a trade is not lining up, then you just stay on the sidelines. And as I often say, not taking a trade can be the best trade advice that you can take sometimes. All right, all right. What else haven't we looked at? What about the Widowmaker natural gas (MNG)? Symbol which I personally don't like trading at all. It's been a see, now I say this, Nicholas, I see this perfect setup here. Look at this one here.
Oh,
Bearish,
nice.
coming up to the zone of control, to this broken support level and the zone of control right here. I
That's a
mean,
good one.
that is a good one. But this symbol, guys, I'm just telling you, it's at least to me, talking from experience, has been difficult to trade. But since it's such a very small risk, it's gonna take this trade no
What
matter
I
what.
wouldn't like about the only thing I don't like from the look of it is looks like it's kind of building some rocket fuel here, the way it's grinding higher aggressively this morning, and this retracement is higher than the previous retracement.
Yeah. That's right. But nonetheless, I'll take a stab at it. It's a very inexpensive contract, and you know, why not? Uh, it is an interesting setup. Bearish. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit further. Where are we coming down from? Yeah, actually quite bearish for a long time. You can see prices are grinding lower. I kind of like it actually for a short trade here. But you're right, we did exceed by a bit this level here. Come on, give me my fill. Just gonna. One thing also I don't like to do anymore. I don't want to be too conservative with waiting for an entry. It's gonna, force a quick entry and then potentially scale in another time. So at least I have my toe in the water early on. So hopefully I'm gonna get my fill here, and then yeah, we'll see if this is gonna pan out to the downside. All right, let me go back to Bitcoin. Where are we here? So this is our trade. It's still in a, we lost this zone of control here. We're bullish now. We got our entry now in natural gas. Yeah, the idea is to hold this level, potentially scale in a second time, and then see some downside action here further down the road. All right. All right, good. A couple of trades already. I'm happy with this. We're slightly up. I'm still hopeful for the other trades that we have going on. Let me go back to gold. Was I too early to exit this?
It
Let's see
hit
here.
216, which is decent, but it's still having that trouble lifting off. I think, but you can see, look at that big volume block. I think if we do lift off, it's going straight to like 5,260 today or something.
That could be once we're out of this one here. But don't be fooled. This may take some time. this huge, massive block. Look at this one here. May take some time to resolve, and should we come down once again to our entry level here, maybe rinse and repeat. We'll do it one more time. Okay, great. What else do we have? Let's have a look at. So we found natural gas. What about the currencies? Euro and pound futures. M6E. Let's see if we see anything of interest here. Bearish trend. Okay, once again, this is the 50-minute time frame. Yeah, a bit not very exciting here. Just above this zone of control, which may act as resistance here. And we have support nearby. Yeah, not much to be done here. Should prices come up to this level up here, maybe a short opportunity, potentially, but it's kind of all over the place. It's not really, yeah, appealing. And what about pound futures? British pound futures also on the 50-minute time frame. Bullish. Ah, look at this. Coming up to resistance up here. You can see it here with a bunch of liquidity captures. Yeah. Again, for me, not the ideal trade. I like to take some chances sometimes. So even here, this bounce trade would have been nice if in a bullish trend. But ideally, I patiently wait until something like this. Bullish trend or coming down to support, which is a bullish bounce, and two things are lining up, and then I go long. That would have been a better trade. But going short here against the trend, maybe a bit too risky for me. All right. But nonetheless, I always still find it fascinating how nicely these levels are holding up at times, which is pretty cool. All right. What else do we have? What about silver? We haven't looked at silver in quite some time. Yeah, silver's also stalling out. Very slow price action this morning. It's a slow day once again, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually, if we hop over to Bitcoin, Daniel.
Bitcoin? Yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but I don't know. I think I'm kind of thinking that it might be beneficial to grab that extra one contract now.
Do you want to close it, you mean? Or get into this?
To average in. Actually, you know what? No. That's me being too aggressive. Because I was going to say where your second limit entry order is above a seller block, and I'd be thinking, hey, if we get it all the way up there, it's probably going to go even higher.
That's right. I didn't even look at that one. Yeah.
But I would just leave the trade as it is, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it the way it is. It's a small position size, which is fine. It's in the minus, and if I want to double down this one, it would be at a level where I'm fairly close to my stop loss anyway, so I don't add too much risk to this trade. So, all right, okay. So natural gas grinding higher. We'll see what's going to happen. I still think that this one has a good chance to be bouncing off this level. And if not, it's such a small trade. No harm, no foul for this one. All right. Are there any symbol requests from you guys out there? If there are, please let us know. And meanwhile, I'm going to look at some bonds, ultra bonds. Let's see if there's anything of interest coming in here. The ultra US Treasury bonds on the 50-minute time frame, bullish, coming down to the zone of control, which may act as resistance here, but no key level of liquidity IQ nearby. So here, I think I'm going to stay on the sidelines. What about some of the other ones here? ZB. But you can see every time I see like bars like this, it means like it's fairly illiquid, even though this could have been a nice trade here down to, wow, look at this one, Nicholas. That's an interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
Bullish trend. We came down to support coinciding with the zone of control. That's the cool. Right now we're too far away, but if you come down one more time to this level, that could be an interesting long trade for sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. And what about ZN? I guess they're all kind of similar, the way they set them up. And I trade these sometimes. There was a nice long trade here I took for a small profit. So if things are lining up, I like to trade even these illiquid contracts. And also these ones, you can see how nicely they oftentimes respond to our levels being pointed out here.
Micro Euro USD is super rangy, but
M6E, you mean?
Yeah, on the 15-minute, it just went bullish, and it's trying to lift out of a tier 2.
It went bullish for you?
On the 15-minute M6E.
Oh, on the 50-minute reference time frame?
Oh yeah. I have it on, sorry, I have it on the reference time frame of 15 minutes.
Oh,
Um,
then I'm
but with
gonna
that in mind, looking at your reference time frame, no, it's in a descending trend, but it's kind of like a triangle pattern.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is one definitely where it's just stuck in a range. I just thought it looked interesting where it is now for like a longer play, but we would probably want to see it break out that resistance above for anything
Yeah.
long.
And one thing, Nicholas, we can say now is what do we mean by reference time frame? Good segue now that the markets are kind of calm. So we have our indicators on the chart, but some of these indicators, actually the majority of them, with the exception of volume IQ, they can be configured in various ways. And one configuration that we always use is to set what we call a reference time frame. Reference time frame allows you to tell the indicator, hey indicator, instead of analyzing the chart time frame, which would be the 50-minute time frame right here, look at a different time frame instead. And I like to do this, or I like to set my reference time frame to be one time frame higher. In this case, it would be the 30 minutes time frame than my chart time frame. So what I done, for example, for Liquidity IQ in the settings, if you go down here where you say base, or you see base reference time frame, I have set it to the 30-minute time frame here on the 50-minute chart. Same for MA Rush down here on the 30-minute time frame, and the same for 1IQ, also looking at the 30-minute time frame. And I do this just to get a bit of a bird's eye view and to get my levels from a higher time frame, because oftentimes when I'm looking at these higher time frames, these levels are more important. At least that works well for me. When I trade off the 5-minute chart, so I'm switching over to a different tab here. This is the 5-minute chart. I also have the same indicators on the chart, but my reference time frames are different now. Because now we're on the 5-minute, I just go one time frame higher and I configure Liquidity IQ to be on the 50-minute time frame. MA Rush to be on the 50-minute time frame, and also 1IQ to be on the 50-minute time frame. And then if you want to put this to the very extreme, on the 1-minute time frame, if I trade off the 1-minute time frame, guess where I set my reference time frame to? Yeah, the 5-minute time frame, just one higher. So here, if you look at the base reference time frame of Liquidity IQ, it's set to the 5 minutes. Just so that you always get a bit of a bird's eye view in terms of the levels. All right. All right, so but let me go back to my level here. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. Yeah, it's coming down a little bit. Maybe you were right, Nicholas, to jump in early here, but I want to stay on the conservative side with this one. What about natural gas? It's coming up a little bit higher towards this zone of control. Yeah. If this was any symbol other than the Widowmaker, natural gas, I probably would average in one more time, but I've had so many bad experiences with this symbol. But normally what you would do, I mean, in fact, let me just do this anyways. Even though, I'm very contradicting myself, but normally what you could do as we're approaching this zone of control here, which is our second line of defense, which in our view will act as support, you would average in one more time just to get a better entry and do some dollar cost averaging with 2 contracts here. Very little risk, only 60 Canadian dollars also. And you would just average in right here. All right. Okay, so are there any questions out there from you guys? Let me just see if John is wondering, would you say that your overall trading strategy is based on market structure and price action, or do you also consider other factors? No, it's actually so oftentimes for day trading, we look at market structure, but at times, I don't want to put too many indicators onto the chart right now. At times, we also add our signal indicators to the chart. So, for example, and let me just go to this chart here, which is not so convoluted. So, for example, what we could add to it as well here on this 50-minute time frame is to add one of our signal indicators, like 1 to 3 strike. So here we're going to go to invite only and use the latest version of 1 to 3 strike, which is our trend indicator. And this indicator, gives you very concrete entry signals, like for example, this long entry signal here, and also exit suggestions. And you can wait for these as well and trade accordingly. And if this aligns, with key market structural levels, then this can give you the extra push as well. I just don't want to put too many indicators in this live trading session because you can see how many, how convoluted this looks now, right now. Jens is wondering, do you also add super signals to it? Yeah, we do. Absolutely. So, and Jens, remind me, on which platform do you use for your super signals? Is it TradingView or is it NinjaTrader or MarketWave? So yeah, but yeah, if you go here and add super signals to the mix, TradingView, okay. And do you have, Jens, real quick, do you have the regular super signals indicator, or do you have the Power Panel Premium, which is the indicator which also shows you what the underlying indicators are doing? So let me just add this to the chart. This takes like a little second to load. And let me just hide 1IQ here so it's not so convoluted. There we go. So it's loading. Power Panel Premium will open up down here. Oh, you want to? Okay. Okay. Let's wait until this one loads up here. There we go. Okay. So this is our Power Panel Premium. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. And there's some settings in the indicator to make this a bit more compact. And yeah, look at these nice entries here along the way. This is on Bitcoin. So we have bronze, we have gold, we have silver here. And yeah, you can trade off these, especially Jens. I mean, this to me, for example, this gold signal would have been a great signal. Why do I say this? Because we came up to resistance. So we have a natural stop loss here just above the resistance. And then we got like a big short here as per our gold signal. So that was a really, yeah, a beautiful one to trade off from. So this is what I like to look for. If the signal coincides with a key structural level. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some cool levels here for sure. If you look at the history here, there could have been some really nice entries. See this one as well. Look, we lost support. This big signal here, it came in this bar. And coincided actually with the zone break. Look at this. Gold entry signal, which is a very rare one. Golds are not very often. And then nice follow through afterwards. So yeah, we do use it. It's just, sometimes, so these ones are even more rare to wait for these sequences, a 50-minute time frame. So in live trading, it sometimes just takes too long to wait for these signals. But I hope this clarifies it. All right, let me see now what's going on with our trade. Back to our 50-minute time frame here. Natural gas and Bitcoin, yeah, just still hanging in there. Slow moving, but our overall thesis is still intact that, we're on a bearish, well, we were on a bearish trend. It switched over to bullish just recently, but we may bounce off this level to the short side here. What's going on with oil? We haven't looked at oil in a while. Still struggling with this support level here. Yeah, still in the midst of it. He was still waiting for this to break and then potentially a nice follow through to the downside. All right. What else do we have? Nicholas, do you see anything of interest?
I don't know. I'm thinking about that second early entry on Bitcoin, but it's still too preemptive. CL is struggling to hold that support. It's not bouncing up quickly.
Yeah, so I think we may see that's true. So this is actually normally a bad sign. We discuss it in our swing trading all the time. Is if it takes a long time for a bounce to take place, I believe eventually this level will be broken. I'm still gonna wait here for the break to actually show up, and then I'm gonna trade it. And one more thing for the zone break, I don't have this particular chart right now here, but don't aim for too much in terms of your profit. Keep it moderate. Just a little profit is fine because there might be another retracement back to the level. And you don't want to give away your profits that way. Okay. All right. What about gold? Still here. Maybe I closed it out too early. Yeah. I just wanted to have that quick little win. It's all right.
It hasn't really taken off, so it was conservative.
Yeah, I figured it's gonna zigzag, but I really closed it out very quickly, just a couple of points higher. But I just wanted to have something in the books to offset a little bit this Bitcoin trade, which is running against us a little bit. You can see it here, and yep, we'll see what's gonna happen. You're gonna see in a bit if we get this fill here. The power of dollar cost averaging is that our break-even point, which is now at this level here at 67,200, will go up probably somewhere to here 67,000, maybe 500 or something, because this is dollar cost averaging, and you know we gotta now have an overall better entry price, but of course also a bigger position size. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see what's happening here. Let me go back to the indices. So what is M2K doing? M2K, MES doing the micro S&P futures. Yeah, just very slow. I don't know, it was a big move in the beginning, and now markets are just really stalling out a little bit. Um, yeah, this one, it's kind of a flag formation here. You see this one? Up, down. We're gonna see another break. Bull flag formation here if you see the break to the upside at some point, but nothing to trade at this price level. Okay. What about copper? Yeah, also stalling out a little bit at this price level here. And I feel that you can see I was looking at my P&L down here. I feel that we're gonna get our fill in Bitcoin anytime now. Now it's pushing higher. It's gonna be interesting to see if this resistance level will hold here. Uh, Yeah, especially since we got bullish. So what I'm gonna be doing is for this trade, if we get our fill, I'm probably not gonna be aiming for a very small profit or break even, just to close out this trade with no harm, because the sentiment now has changed a little bit here. We went from bearish to bullish, so now our short trade kind of struck is fighting against this bullish trend. So if we bounce, I'm just gonna close out this trade fairly quickly afterwards, just to take close out this trade and move on. All right. Okay, let's look at some of my
You,
the
you know,
things that I yeah.
oh, never mind. Sorry. I was gonna say, Daniel, I would bring my contracts there, the sell limit to like in the middle of the seller block, maybe, just because it makes it, but then bring my stop downwards just for the time constraints of the session, if that interests you. Um, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's more technically logical sense, I guess, to allow it to test that resistance, eh?
I mean, yeah, but you're right. I didn't consider the seller block here, but you're right. If we are bouncing, it's probably going to be in this area here, which is predominantly sellers. Oh, there's a seller bias at least. So yeah, it may happen. Or maybe right now already. But I'm not gonna chase this one. Yeah, let's keep it here. I moved down a little bit our second entry, but I will we'll see with our stop. We'll get there once we get the fill. Maybe we're gonna close it out a bit quicker, but for now, I'm just gonna keep it up there. All right. Okay, what is natural gas doing? Oh, I just got an alert. You see this here? I was looking at my phone, so I thought somebody was texting me. Alert on MCL. We crossed. Okay, let's check it out. Something new to look at. All right, over to MCL. Oh, and it looks like we will be seeing our zone break right now. I'm going to use this chance to enter short in this trade here. This is what we've been waiting for. Short trade around this price level here. Stop loss. It's gonna keep it here. I'm not gonna write this out too much. Target not too far away either. I'll put sell here, and I'm gonna wait for what happens here. Let's move this a little bit higher because I may find some support here as well. And the idea is, okay, now that we lost this level, I mean, at least to some degree, yeah, quickly came up again. I think we're at the brink of, really moving lower here in MCL in oil. And once again, this shows you the power of having these alerts. I just saw them on my phone, right? Then I switched over to my chart and I placed the trade. But normally, just truth be told, I'm waiting for my 1IQ alerts to come in. and then I execute accordingly. This has been my secret sauce ever since, but nonetheless, it's a nice way to trade. Just being alerted of when your setup comes up. And the beauty in TradingView, especially if one of the advanced TradingView subscription, you can define alerts for an entire watch list. So what, maybe just since we have a bit of time now, what I do is I put 1IQ, my alert indicator, to the chart, this one here, that loads. And then once it's loaded, just give you a little bit of time. Let's go back here to the beginning. There we go. Once it's loaded, come on in. There we go. I will then go to alerts up here and just note what is my watch list here. I call this futures day trading. So this is always relative to the watch list that you have open right now. So you go to alerts and you can say, okay, I want to have an alert based on my 1IQ indicator, for example, a low power bounce. And instead of just having it for this particular symbol, which is my chart symbol, micro Bitcoin, I want alerts to be defined for an entire watch list. In this case, it contains 20 symbols. You can have a watch list of 500 symbols. We do this for the S&P 500 alerts. Watch list alerts for the entire S&P 500, 500 alerts. And then you will get alerted for whenever any of these symbols have this set up. It's super convenient. So these are watch list alerts, but these are only available in one of these advanced TradingView subscriptions. I believe if I go quickly to my subscription here, what do we have? Ultimate, 1 second. Maybe not here. I'm just going to quickly check what is my subscription. I shouldn't have went away. 1 second. Explore your plans. This one here. Yeah. So what we have is this one here. It's super expensive, but we bought it on Black Friday. So on Black Friday, we got an 80% discount of this subscription. This is our one that we have right now. And you get, I believe, 15 watch list alerts. That's the feature I'm talking about. This one here, premium, it's much cheaper. 78 Canadian dollars a month with the annual plan. You get 2 watch list alerts. So at least not bad. So get 15 versus 2, but this is the one we picked on Black Friday. So if you have time, wait for Black Friday. And I believe there are some other promotions along the way, also at TradingView, where you get these huge discounts. This is what we've done. All right. Back to my charts. What's going on here?
That M6E, Bitcoin's really flying off, eh? Or no, not that badly.
Oh yeah, we did. We got our fill. You see this? So we did get our fill now, and so exactly at the level that Nicholas has predicted. Nice hit here. So we now have our contract in. Should we come down to this level here, I probably will be looking to close out this profit at break even, or this trade at break even, or maybe just a bit lower, because now we're in bullish momentum here. I don't want to stay in this too much longer. I'm trying to rescue it, trying to save this trade. And should we go below entry level, I'm probably going to close it out. But let's see what happens here. But now we have our 3 contracts in. Dollar cost averaging. You can see here our original entry price. You can see it's here. Let me just highlight this real quick for you. Our original entry price was, I believe, somewhere here. Somewhere in this area. Yeah, that was our entry. And now our average entry is up here. This is thanks to dollar cost averaging, because we went in one more time into this position and are short now. And what you see down here, and I don't know if somebody of you trades of MT4 and MT5, what Interactive Brokers does, it will combine your position. So in MT4 and MT5, on some of these CFDs and FX positions, you would have 2 different short positions now. One with 1 position size, 1 lot, and one with 2 lots, let's say. Listed separately, and they can also be managed separately. This is what they do in some of these MT4 accounts. But of course, with Interactive Brokers and a True Futures account, these are now merged together. So we're now, short 3 contracts here. All right, so let's see what happens here. I hope we're going to come down a little bit so we then can close out this trade. And of course, the idea is that we're going to be bouncing off this level up here towards lower price levels. What do the red arrows indicate? That's the entry. That's in TradingView. That's just my trade entry, John. It's a setting and TradingView. I believe if you go to settings of your chart and you go to, I believe, trading, you can appearance, position and orders. I believe it's this one here. If I delete this one, no, it's not this. Execution marks. These are your execution marks, this one here. See this one, John? It's this setting here. You can also put labels on. What's this? See here. You can put the level at which we got in. Interesting. Okay. Perfect. So lots of settings here in TradingView, how you can configure this one. All right. Okay, so what else do we have? Yeah, all these positions are a bit minus now. I'm a bit bummed out for oil. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit too early here, but we're still okay. I think I still feel that there's lots of downwards momentum here for this oil trade. Then we might be losing this level, and then this trade will be okay. And what about natural gas? Yeah, still have our first entry here. We'll see what's going to happen. All right. John says thank you. Okay, perfect. Are there any symbol requests we could look at? Okay, I don't see any symbol requests coming in right now. Let's do our little round trip one more time. So these trades are open. They are what they are right now. We'll see what's going to happen with Bitcoin here. You know, our last line of defense is all the way up here. We'll see. Hopefully it's going to hold. And we're going to see a bounce. What about gold? Yeah, still stuck in this range. Yeah, these high volume nodes of volume IQ once it loads, they may take some time to resolve. Yeah, especially a thick node like this. Price may be stuck in this node for quite some time. Yeah. Let's have a look at M and Q, and still also stuck there. Not much going on. And what's going on here? Yeah, our Bitcoin trade is really, yeah, not behaving the way we thought, but it's pushing higher now. And Niklas, you start moving your stop down a little bit. I
I
probably
liked that idea because once it's above this block here, it's not a lot of hope.
That's what you think.
I guess so. Yeah, it could just to bounce off the resistance.
Nah, I mean, my idea is this is our second line of defense, and we will. I'll wait it out now. So it's been bouncing
There's
off here
still a lot
before.
of
Yeah,
resistance. Yeah.
it's been bouncing it quite a few times off this level. I will. Yeah, I'm just gonna swallow that bullet. If it gets there, then we have a losing day for sure. But yeah, this is my second line of defense. My thesis was either we stop at this high volume node, we didn't, and then I guess it was here, so entry. Second line of defense is in place up here. So if this holds, all good. If not, then okay, then it didn't work out.
What else is there? I'm checking some symbols. M6E, well, that came up to that resistance. Liquidity captured. Now it's coming down a bit.
Oh, M6E, bearish trend.
No,
Okay.
there's a resistance on the 15-minute reference time frame, but it's just that local pivot from before.
Oh, okay. Let me just quickly go here. M6E or 6E, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's this one here, right? That one was picked up. Yeah, bullish here, and
It's above
yeah.
the tier 2, though. This was what I was thinking of this one initially for a long from because we were lifting off that tier 2 area in the 15
Oh,
minute,
okay. Yeah.
but it's a kind of a ranging symbol.
Yeah, that might be ranging for a bit longer, but yeah, potentially you can see here we definitely did approach resistance here. We're bullish, at least on the Miami Rush indicator here. And yeah, I don't want to short it here against the trend. So I'm gonna wait. Let me just see where are we coming from. Yeah, it's kind of a messy Euro futures. I think I'm gonna stay away from this one. Right. Oops. Where did oh, here we go. All right. So let me just have a look here. What is going on with my other symbols? Bitcoin. Niklas said there's no more hope for Bitcoin for this trade. I still have hope.
There's not necessarily. It's still not out of that block. So
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I
Oh,
think
oh,
that
gold is really taking off now, so that might. Let's see.
is it?
Well, it's starting. It's the high of the day, so or high of the morning since the
Yeah.
open. Oh, wait, no, it's not. No, it's not.
No, no, he did. Was a bit higher. Yeah, I'm gonna wait here. But yeah, here I jumped the gun a little bit too early. I wanted to yeah, I closed up this trade, so it was been grinding higher. And of course, that was also the reason why gold, even though we're still in this block here, only long trade would be a possibility, which is with the trend and not against the trend. So we were waiting for a price to come down a little bit. We entered long. I closed it out too early just because I got nervous trading in front of an audience, you know. And we already had this Bitcoin trade, which was struggling a little bit. So I wanted to book something, and at least we are, we're containing our trades right now. We'll see where it's going to be. Sometimes you play the long game. These trades sometimes take a little while to pan out. And we just got an execution. Oh boy. On natural gas. Oh boy. The Widowmaker in place again. So now we're in with 3 contracts here. The anticipation is we're going to be bouncing off this level towards the downside. This is our second line of defense, the zone of control right here. Now let's see what happens. And also here we can see that our entry price now dollar cost averaged to some lower price levels. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Okay. Interesting. So let's see this one here. And my strategy has been when I got my second entry, typically I'm just looking to close out this trade with a small profit. I don't want to be greedy. Um, you know, just have a small winner there. And because my first idea that we're bouncing off this level, that one didn't work out. We went higher. Now we have my second line of defense in place, which hopefully will hold. But I don't think that this trade has a big lags anymore, so to say. All right. So now it's going to get interesting here. We are approaching this key resistance level here in Bitcoin. Let's see what happens as we approach it from the downside. You can see it here. We're coming up to this level. This was our original entry. We dollar cost averaged, and so now our averaged entry is around this price level here. And should we see a bounce, as I mentioned before, I will be looking to close out this trade around this price level here. All right. Okay. What else can we talk about? Let's have a look. What is going on some of these metals? What about
Platinum, yeah.
platinum? Yeah.
2,319.
Yeah, all the metals have been taken off like
What?
crazy. Yeah.
I remember that being like $900. Am I misremembering?
Ah, I don't know. Let's have a look.
No, it
Well,
was
if
$900 just this summer.
if there's anything like silver,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
all these
Almost.
symbols have
It
like,
went up 320% almost at
yeah,
one point.
yeah. It's just like silver. If you look at silver here, what a run silver has made. Just hide this
Holy.
indicator here. Yeah, huge run up, and then the yeah, three, 4 times its value. Crazy. All right. So, but let me go back to. Just want to see if Nicholas was right with his claim that there's no hope for Bitcoin. So now it's do or die. Either we're gonna hold this level here, or we don't. Uh, so let's see what is happening here as price is approaching this key support level up here. Sorry,
Right
this key
now,
resistance level.
most symbols seem to be pushing towards their highs of day.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
indices and well, not NQ and ES are kind of struggling, but I'm
yeah.
wondering about M2K for that long actually, because I find what M2K kind of tends to do. I mean, it doesn't directly follow the other indices, like the S&P, but I find sometimes what it does is it fakes out the move of what the other indices are doing, and then it catches up super rapidly later. It's kind of like a widow maker in its own. Like if you look back on the chart there, see that big liquidity capture? Not the one that just happened, but the previous one that's higher up, the one before
Th
that.
this one?
Further back, near the
Oh,
far left of the chart.
oh, this one.
Yeah, so M2K tends to have these crazy wick candles. So it'll kind of not do what the other indices are doing or what you would expect it to do technically, and it fakes people out, and then it has a huge wick to get everybody out of the trade, and then it finally does the thing. So if the other indices hold up and everything pulls up here, maybe this is a nice little pullback entry on this long opportunity.
Yeah, I just don't want to go against this level here,
For
but
sure.
yeah. I think I'm gonna stay on the side. I'm just gonna see if we can. Oh, how did we get our what? Our nice trend line back. This was what I was looking for before. Look at this, this beautiful trend line coinciding with. I don't know how I got this chart back. Very
Because you
strange.
never hit Control S on your chart, I think, and this is a different layout than the other one you were looking at.
Yeah, maybe. Let me just, because if I go here, they're gone. It's a
Oh,
different
never
symbol.
mind. Yeah.
That's clear. But I think I clicked here and then I got back to, ah, got it. So this now actually makes a lot of sense to me. Look at this. So of course we also went bullish here, but only on the last candle. Do you see this? Uh, and this is the continuous I don't know. I'm not sure what happened in terms of the contract here, but this is the continuous contract where we're approaching the upper end of the trend line. Of course, if you break it, that's not a good sign. Coinciding with the resistance level here. And strangely, this is the continuous contract MBT on the 50-minute. If I go here to MBT, the March contract, the levels are slightly different. But of course, it's a different contract. The other one is a synthetic contract. It's not tradable. So MBT here is not tradable itself. You always have to execute on a contract which actually is a tradable futures contract, not the calculated one, not a synthetic one, as we would say. All right, let's do a quick round trip as to what else we have open. Oil. Yes, oil. I think I jumped the gun here a bit too early. I still think it's somewhat bearish here in oil. Hopefully there's going to be some follow through afterwards.
I don't think you've jumped the gun. We're still making lower lows and lower highs.
Yeah, no, for sure. And here it's do or die time now. Here we dollar cost averaged in here for the Widowmaker, as we said before, natural gas. I swear to myself, I don't trade this symbol anymore. It's been only erratic to me. It doesn't respect our setups very well, but I did it anyways in this session. Let's see what happens here. The idea is that we're going to see a nice follow through to the downside after this retracement. And of course, then we have Bitcoin here. Here, the idea is that this level better hold up here. It coincides with this trend line here and this resistance level on top. So we'll see what's going to happen. All right. Okay. That's good. Yeah, I mean, we did take a bunch of trades in this session. I'm happy for this. We're definitely going to keep an eye on all these open trades. What time is it? It's 11:30. I think we're going to do maybe 10, 15 more minutes in this session, and then we will close it out. But I will keep everybody informed. Maybe that's a good idea to remind everyone where you can get in touch with us and follow up on these trades. So let me go back to my slides real quick. So yeah, first off, if you are intrigued of our market IQ indicators, liquidity IQ, volume IQ, 1IQ, and ME-Rush, we do still have the 2026 special going on right now. Niklas, can you put this link into the chat box, please? So it's tradingindicators.com/2026, where you will get a great package price for the lifetime license of our market IQ indicator. So to me, it has made a big difference, especially the addition of 1IQ, which allows me to set these pinpointed alerts when all three levels are lining up, all three indicators are lining up, and only trade when this is happening. Of course, depending on how strict you set your alerts, they may only come in once a day or maybe twice a day. It's very selective, but to me, that made a big difference. So tradingindicators.com/2026. And I believe I also had, we also have a Discord channel. So for Discord, what you can do is you can go to Trading Indicators. So I'll show you right here, tradingindicators.com/Discord. There we go. Niklas, please also put this link into the chat. It's this one
Yep,
here.
it's there.
This will bring you to our Discord channel. It's an invitation. You accept the invitation here, click on it, and then you simply go to discord.com afterwards. Once you accepted the invitation, you open Discord, and you will then find our channel in Discord. Just a second here. There we go. It's this one here, the Trading Indicators logo. You click on it, and in there you have our trading talk here. Yeah, that live trading begins with some trading commentary along the way, some charts being posted, especially David. I'm not sure if David is in the room today. He's very active. And yeah, please join us here. This is a community we want to build, and I will post the results of today's trade later on in our Discord channel so you guys can follow along. All right, so let me go back to my slides real quick. What are we? Yeah, it's still struggling here. We'll see what's going to happen. I'm still slightly hopeful, and natural gas is finally slightly in the plus. All right. Okay, so we dollar cost average into this trade here. I think if we, I probably will close out this trade once we get to this higher volume node here, just to close it out and move on with our lives. This is a strategy which I've been pursuing. Once we get our second entry, our dollar cost averaging, I don't look for much anymore. And here, I would place my profit target right here because it's the beginning of this higher volume node, which may act as support in this case, and price may bounce up from here. All right. Let's look at oil here. Yeah, well, hopefully oil is going to come down a little bit too. I still think it's bearish. I really thought once we lose this level here, we're going to see a quick follow through. This hasn't happened yet. We only wicked down and up again, but now prices are pushing lower again. So that makes me hopeful here as well. And then we have our biggest question mark here, which is Bitcoin. Niklas said there's no hope for this trade. I hope I can prove him wrong.
Yeah, I know it's starting to look hopeful. Liquidity capture.
Okay, yeah. That's a good point. Maybe we can quickly comment on what a liquidity capture is. It is this event here. You see this? You can hover over this little box here. Do you see these little boxes here, which are a little bit, dotted or shaded? Like these are liquidity captures. These are bars which are approaching a key level. In this case, the resistance level on top, and which have high or abnormally high volume. And oftentimes this can be seen as, hey, somebody is stepping in, somebody is now participating in the market. And I would look at it as, hey, maybe some sellers are stepping in, finding this entry level as an attractive entry level right up here, because volume is spiking up, and this could indirectly drive prices further down. So that's the idea, at least here, for this liquidity capture event, how to interpret it. All right, perfect. Let me just do one more little round trip of the markets right now. What do we have? So MES pushing higher a little bit after we stalled out a little bit. Yeah. So actually here, maybe what I said in the beginning, zone break retrace would have been a good idea. Now that we're pushing higher here, but of course hindsight is 2020. MNQ, I would imagine, still flagging. Here, let's see how this one resolves. If you lose or if you break above this flag, I think we're gonna see a big, nice follow through to the upside. Dow, Dow is stuck in this high volume node here. We discussed this at the very beginning. Once volume IQ loads, you can see it's being stuck. It's a really big high volume node in this price area. If this indicator loads, you can see it here, this huge high volume. What a massive node here where prices, and I would be surprised if we clear this level anytime soon. It's like really a big level of bounciness ahead for Dow. Yeah, Russell is now getting interesting. Niklas, you called it for potential long trade here. Let's see how it does with this resistance level. Once we clear it, I think this could be an interesting long. Maybe a bit too late for your taste, but once we clear this level, I think we might be flying up. Gold.
Coin looks like it's going to hit the stop.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Any second.
What? 1 second?
Oh,
no,
maybe. No, not any second. Okay, sorry. I exaggerated.
So negative with this trade. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is the level to hold. If this one doesn't hold, I'm gonna close this trade. Maybe even a bit earlier, but we'll see. Silver, still stalling out here after this big move up. I still think there's a big upside bias in silver. It's just such an expensive contract to trade. So I'm gonna see what's gonna happening here. MCL. Yeah, still waiting to see if we see some follow through to the downside. And then we also had Euro futures. Here we're looking for potentially a bounce of this resistance level on top. Yeah, at least a small bounce seems to be. Oh, this was on the 50-minute time frame. My apologies. Here, a bit of a bounce, yeah, off this level. We had, what else did we have? We also had natural gas. Yeah, natural gas here finally coming down a little bit, but it's not the right time frame. Yeah, here natural gas. Let's see what's going to happen here. Stuck in the zone of control where we dollar cost averaged in a second time. The idea is that we're going to see, seeing this as support, and we may see some downside action further down the road. And I believe that was the round trip. So we're going to see what's going to happen. I keep everyone apprised of these trades, especially of this Bitcoin trade. So it's do or die, as we say. Either this level will hold or we getting stopped out. And that's okay. So we're getting stopped out. I did really have a huge positive run as of late, my day trading, which was good to me, but primarily because I listened to the alerts that came in from OneIQ. That has been a big difference maker. And once again, if you're interested in OneIQ and all our market IQ indicators, that's the link here, tradingindicators.com/2026. All right, guys, with this, let's close out the session now. We're just going to see what's happening here with these trades. I'll keep everybody apprised in Discord, and then hopefully I will see you soon again at our next live trading session. All right, thanks. John says thank you. All right, John, you're very welcome. I hope it's been useful, and have a great rest of the day. Happy trading, guys. Thanks, Nicholas. Bye-bye.